Honorable peers, parliamentarians, and distinguished personalities, I salute all of you for your efforts in defending the Iranian people, especially the vanguards of the struggle for freedom and democracy in Iran, the PMOI members in Ashraf and Liberty and Iran. First, allow me to express my gratitude to courageous women who are at the conference. The Right Honorable Baroness Betty Boothroyd, former Speaker of the House of Commons for many years, a competent and brave leader who have served her people for several years in the UK Parliament and have always advocated real human values. She is a pioneer in defense of gender equality. I have always appreciated your courage and your strong character in defense of justice. You have always been a source of hope by being on the side of your sisters in Iran, Ashraf, and Liberty in hardship. And my dear Honorable Baroness Turner, Baroness Scott, Baroness Gibson, Baroness Lister, Baroness Blood, Baroness Fladder, and my dear Lady Slean and Lady Corbett, and other courageous women. I would also like to salute other distinguished lords and MPs, Mr. David Ames, Honorable Lord Fraser, Honorable Lord Carlisle, Lord Clark, Mr. Stephen McCabe, Lord McGuinness, Lord Cutter, Mr. Roger Gale, Mr. Mark Williams, Mr. Roger Williams, and Mr. Matthew Offord. I congratulate the International Women's Day to all advocates of the ideal of freedom and equality across the world. The International Women's Day symbolizes women's struggle and perseverance. For this reason, we must first congratulate women who are fighting against enemies of freedom and equality and who are paying the price for this fight. I also congratulate women and girls in my homeland Iran who, despite 34 years of oppression, have never surrendered. Inspired by their vanguards in Ashraf and Liberty, women in Iran tend to achieve freedom by active participation in the struggle against the ruling religious tyranny. This occasion calls for our tribute to several thousands of brave women who have been executed by the mullahs in the past 3 decades. I would like to also pay homage to those women who were martyred in the 3 massacres at Ashraf and Liberty at the behest of the religious fascism ruling Iran and its proxy dictatorship in Iraq. And finally, on this day, I salute 1,000 heroic women in Ashraf and Liberty, as well as brave women, prisoners, and young girls and women who have formed resistance cells inside Iran. Dear friends, in the past year, the clerical regime has intensified suppression against women. They have prohibited women in dozens of career and study fields at universities. They have formed restrictions for women's employment in government and private sectors. They have introduced a range of misleading laws to force women into homes more than before. Women at work are facing many oppressive controls as well as forced veiling at the workplace. They are denied their individual freedoms everywhere. These are parts of the regime's efforts to preserve its rule. This reality confirms that women's freedom under the rule of this regime is impossible. Iranian women have fully recognized that no part of their rights and freedoms will be realized unless in the struggle to overthrow the mullahs. Any step towards women's liberation is a step towards overthrowing this regime. On International Women's Day, I would like to draw the attention of the British Parliament to the situation of thousands of vanguard women in Ashraf and Liberty. For years, they have accepted all the sufferings and hardships of struggle against the mullahs. They have decided to give up their personal careers and welfare to liberate their people and country. For this reason, they have been targeted by the mullahs. The regime fears their impact on Iranian society, especially on women and young people. Right now, however, the life and safety of these women in Camp Liberty is in serious danger. After the criminal attack on February 9, in which 7, including 1 woman, were killed, the issue of insecurity and liberty is urgent and immediate. Of course, this crime was carried out with the complicity of the Iraqi government. The UN Secretary General's special representative in Iraq was either silent or facilitated this attack. These threats come at a time when Camp Liberty does not have any protection. For this reason, the residents are totally defenseless in the face of further attacks. Therefore, in order to protect the residents until they are resettled in third countries, they must return to Camp Ashraf, which is much safer in the face of such attacks. As the UNHCR reaffirmed in this March 1st statement, this population is entitled to international protection according to international law. Protecting the residents of liberty is the responsibility of the world community, especially the British government, which welcomed and supported the transfer of the Ashrafis to liberty. It must assume its share of responsibility. Regrettably, the UK remained silent vis-à-vis the February 9th carnage. This silence must not continue. Governments must play their role in this respect. The urgent protection and security of the residents make it necessary that the world community, especially the US and the UK, create a situation where the residents of liberty are either transferred to the United States or returned to Ashraf to be resettled from there. The honorable members of the British Parliament are expected to ask their government to initiate the referral of this issue to the UN Security Council. Honorable MPs, ladies and gentlemen, despite the mullah's pressures and suppression, I have no doubt that freedom will return to my homeland and a new era of democracy, freedom, and equality will dawn. Iran's courageous women are the main force for change in this century. To realize this prospect, I again call on you to support the Iranian people and Iranian resistance and to assist the PMOI in Ashraf and Liberty. I thank you all very much and God bless you all.